Hi, good morning, everyone. Welcome to today's Grow My Business webinar. It's great to have you. If you're new, we're happy that you could join us today. So what is the Grow My Business webinar? This is the webinar we started during the pandemic last year to help business owners with the resources and they need to grow their business. So we speak to industry experts around the world and they share their knowledge with us here. And if you have missed previous session, you can always check our YouTube channel. We have a playlist where you can go over it and learn more too. My name is Sean Oguntonode. I am the content creator at Flutterwave. Today we have Ayo Bankole and my colleague Jolade. So Ayo Bankole will be speaking on the available resources that micro, small, medium enterprise can leverage to help grow their capacity. And Jola will be speaking on resources that Flutterwave has for business owners. But before we start each session, I will be setting some house rules. So this webinar is recorded. So in case you join in or you're not able to listen in fully, we'll be sending out an email for you to rewatch. And then if you don't get that email then you can always check our YouTube channel. We'll always have that. It'll be uploaded by Friday. So you can always go there. If you have any questions during Ayo Bankole's session or Jolade's session, you can always put that in the Q&A. So that will be like the last part that we'll be having. So if you have any questions, don't put them in the chat box. The chat box is for everyone to interact. And if you have specific questions, it'd be great for you to put that in the Q&A. So today we have Ayo Bankole. He's the founder of Caladium Consulting, and this is sorry. They provide micro, small, medium enterprise with access to first-class professional services. Ayo Bankole is a strategy and transformation professional with over a decade of experience. He's also an entrepreneur and advocate for good governance and the growth of the micro, small, medium enterprise. So I'm going to let him introduce himself some more, and then we can go ahead with his session.
So I've led strategy teams in financial market, insurance, and the oil and gas industry. And then even Caladium could not provide support to MSMEs in the scale that we want, again, because most of the MSMEs are micro businesses. Over 70% of Nigerian MSMEs are micro. And the characteristics of micro businesses is that most of them have less than 10 million in total startup capital. And about 97% of them are not even registered. So they can't really, by design, afford consulting services. So that was when I started the Lagos SME Bootcamp in 2018. And we've done about 6 bootcamps since then to support micro businesses with access to the capabilities that they ordinarily will not be able to afford. We essentially just aggregate thought leaders, partners of global firms, CEOs and the likes to come and teach practical tips to small businesses on how to grow their business around HR, around branding, around technology, capital raising, financial management, and all those kinds of things. I'm a certified project manager. I'm a certified digital SAP ERP marketing professional, and I have a master's in political science from New York and a certificate in disruptive strategy from the Harvard Business School. Yeah, so today I'll be talking very briefly about MSMEs in Nigeria, the resources that are available out there. Those resources are largely around capacity, around funding, and around technology tools. And then, if time permits, we'll talk briefly about growth strategies for MSMEs. Okay, so Sheon, I don't know. I may have to plead if it's possible for participants to be dropping their questions in some of these chats, because it's difficult for me to just go on and on without feedback.
Yes, you can interact with them in the chat box. Yes, you can have them answer questions.
Okay, that's totally fine. Thank you. All right, so there are about 41.5 million MSMEs in Nigeria. SMEDAM is the custodian of this information. SMEDAM is the small and micro business development agency of Nigeria. Before now, it was 39 and then 41 million. And what that means, what that number means for us is that all these efforts that we're doing, Flutterwave's effort, our effort at Lagos SME Bootcamp, Tony Elumelu's Foundation, all of us put together, we're just scratching the surface because we haven't even reached, maybe everybody, combined will be reaching maybe 100,000, maybe 200,000. We at the bootcamp, for example, have supported 4,500 to date. Tony Lumelu supports about 5,000 every year or so. Some other politicians and all these guys do maybe 1,000. Right? So we haven't still scratched that surface. Government, on the one hand, is always designing policies that help the large enterprises the most. For example, we lost the borders, semi-border, for several months. A lot of businesses, small and micro businesses, died. I have a client who is a leader in providing fresh fruits. I don't want to mention their name now, because of privacy issues. But during that period, their business almost collapsed because of imports, because some of their raw materials were dependent largely on imported items, right? And the thing about these policies is that once they happen, most small businesses just die, and during that same time, when small businesses were groaning and complaining, and analysts like us were saying government should open these borders, you don't throw away the baby with the bathwater. Government on deaf ears, and the shocker came when they then granted waiver to Dangote and I think Bua to export, their products across the border. So you can see how government bent backwards for the billionaires and abandoned the micro businesses. And it's silly and counterproductive because 84% of total jobs created in this country are created by small and micro businesses. And then the total number of businesses in Nigeria, 96% of them are MSMEs. And again, these are not far-fetched information. You can go, if you see on the street alone, depending on where you live, even in Ikoyi and Banana, I'm sure you can count at least 10 to 15 small and medium enterprise owners within that environment. If you then go to live in areas like Mushin or Surulere, probably will see about 10 on every street or 20 on every street, right? So until when we are able to expand the capacity of our MSMEs, we will never be able to achieve that economic growth. Because if this, look, MSMEs contribute 50%, 48% to GDP, and it has been consistent. And if we're able to support them to scale, the biggest challenge with the guys in the micro space and the small space, remember that I'm going to be speaking today mostly to micro and small, because most of us here, pardon me if I'm wrong, are most likely not medium businesses. You can just type what you do, what the nature of your business is, if you consider your business small or micro or medium. Remember that small is if you do less than 25 million in revenue. Yeah, micro is if you do less than 10 million, and medium is if you do between 25 to 100 million. So you can just type the nature of your business, the industry that you play in, if it's fashion, if it's entertainment, if it is retail, if it is food, if it is construction. You can just type it in the chat box with education and what you consider your business to be, so that when I'm talking, I know my audience and I know who I can speak to. So what are the nature of MSMEs? Again, Nigerian Bureau of Statistics say that education and construction guys are among the top 5 for medium enterprises. Of course, you can see how many schools we have. If churches were considered businesses, I'm sure churches will be amongst that list, because almost every hall, every warehouse that you see that is originally meant for production and import, they've been converted to schools on the weekday and church on the Sunday. So churches are competing very closely with schools, and a lot of the schools even rent out their halls to churches. But again, churches are not technically recognized as businesses, but churches also provide a lot of employment. So then wholesale, retail, and trade make up the majority of micro enterprises. Of course, if you look at even the online vendors, you see almost everybody are retail guys or are Greek guys. We have a lot of entrepreneurs. We have a lot of retail guys. Buy your shoe, buy your hair, um, buy your skincare products, and all those kind of things. So again, a lot of these guys are going to constitute. We're going to be think design our content, this conversation around those areas. Okay, I don't know why I'm sharing a stop. Okay, can you see my screen back now? Hello, Sean.
Yes, I can see your screen.
Okay, that's fine. So what resources exist for MSMEs, right? We have technology resources, we have financial resources, and a couple of other things. First and foremost, what types of technology resources exist? Look, there are multiple things that exist in the technology space these days that MSMEs can leverage, right? And there's really no excuse. A lot of things, skills, funding, knowledge, networks, partnerships have been democratized by technology. So democratized that you literally can sit in your living room and access and strike partnerships with anybody that you want to. You can acquire knowledge without paying for it. I mean, for example, look at this Flutterwave session. You can own an office without necessarily paying for a physical location, right? My business, for example, uses a virtual office, right, as an office. Even Flutterwave, I think Flutterwave also is in a virtual location, a hub, right? And all of these guys exist that across board that you can leverage for growth. In those days, one of the biggest challenges businesses had was having to look for an office, paying for that office, and then front loading costs because you are not very sure about what your market size is, where that market is, and how to address them. In the 90s or before the digital age, everyone had to, or most people had to take a bet to rent, either pay or buy a physical office location. Now you don't necessarily have to. There are virtual hubs everywhere that gives you the feel of a physical presence. You can use those addresses. You can receive and send mails. When I say mails now, physical correspondence via those addresses. You can migrate yourself from being those days they call it briefcase company into an actual verifiable entity without paying humongous, without front loading costs. Front loading cost means investing a significant amount of your total startup cost in certain physical or startup costs, such as physical office space, with about 100K per annum or 200K or even less. You can pay for virtual office addresses, that will give you the same feeling. People can take calls on your behalf. They can make calls, they can take mails on your behalf. Your customers can come there and interact with you. And if you want to take it a step further, you can then pay for one or two working spaces, depending on what you consider your absolute need, at that point in time. So I mean, there's dex.com. It's a tool that exists online. As I'm speaking to you, you can be checking some of these things online so that you can so that it's easier for you to adopt or to internalize some of these things. So it's not just theoretical. I mean, with dex.com, you can interact with your customer. And it's a very popular service tool that exists on the market for business owners. There's HubSpot. It's a massive online library of videos, content that covers multiple, segments of various industries of your business, especially things that have to do with marketing, social media, PR, sales. So if you're looking for templates, you're looking for guides, you're looking for white papers, you're looking for ebooks, you can use HubSpot, right? Again, I'm going to make this as practical as possible because as micro businesses, you don't have the money that the big boys have, to get consultants, to get experts, to buy resources, to buy reports, to get brand consultants to design templates for you. You may not be able to afford brand guides, and all these kind of things. So it is important that you use some of these tools online, that can help you access it. Okay, so there's also tools for entrepreneurs. There's a YouTube channel that was created by Google, and in fact, YouTube as a whole, right, is an amazing platform where you can find a lot of free resources. I have been invited several times to be a part of some initiative for what's it called now, for knowledge sharing via YouTube for micro and small business enterprises, right? For micro and small businesses, and in most often than not, those platforms those initiatives are usually free. Of course, on YouTube, everything is free. They charge you they begin to then make money off you. You are the content, right? So it's important that you milk it, right? If you go on YouTube, any skill you're trying to get, any knowledge you're trying to find, Google has quite a lot of those things. Excellent. I can see people here from construction. I can see people in medical equipment and supply. I can see people in footwear, IT. Yeah, I particularly like the fact that there's, okay, somebody is saying that my audio is still low. Sean, can you hear me, or is it me or them? Okay, those of us, hello, Sean and Jolade, can you hear me? Okay, so
I thought I
people
my
are
mic.
already,
Yes, I can hear you.
okay, yeah, I can see in the chat box, people are saying that they can hear me. So that means that it's probably from the side of the person that said that they can't hear me. Okay, that's fine then. So I can see people from renewable energy. Excellent. So there's also accounting code. So aside accounting code, there are 1,000,001. So what I've tried to do is to recommend platforms that are mostly free. Because if you are paid, of course, I can't be advertising you for free, right? So of course, there are other ones that are paid small sums. I know, for example, that there are invoicing and accounting tools online that with maybe 1,000 naira a month or less, you can have a mini ERP that will help you generate invoices, that will help you track payments. With the likes of Flutterwave and Paystack, you can integrate payment online now. It's very easy. There are also so many platforms now that provide easy access to credit. We at the bootcamp, we are now working on a platform, that we are working on a tech platform that would help you access funding for your receivables. So a lot of these things are available in the tech space now, that there's really no excuse, for you to suffer the things that businesses used to suffer back in the day. Aside this, there is also the bit of thinking with a digital mindset. We're in the information age, and I'm sorry, we're in the digital age, the experience age. Information age was mostly early 2000s. Now, information age has evolved into digital age, and whatever your business is, if you adopt, tech mentality into it, you can essentially change your narrative and migrate your business from just a traditional business into a technology-enabled problem-solving business. And I'm going to use an example. You see a lot of uh, businesses, non-tech-enabled businesses doing renewable energy, right? But you also have some who have changed their narrative, you know, adopted technology into their renewable business, and then we crafted their narrative into a problem-solving narrative to say, look, there is a power problem in Nigeria. There is a sustainability problem, from pollution to um, excess usage of fossil fuels and all these things. And then we are trying to solve that problem one person at a time. There's also a power shortage problem, right? And we're trying to create renewable solutions to some of the poorest households. We're trying to create power that doesn't pollute the environment to support SDG goals. And then you use a very basic or very, depending on your budget, technology platform that enables that you reach a larger audience. And if you're able to do that, you've essentially changed the narrative of your business from that random guy who does renewable products, and goes on Twitter to say, "Oh, come and buy my renewable energy products. Come and do this. Come and do that." If you crafted your narrative, and then it positions you better for access to funding, right? And then it enables you reach wider audience. And I always give examples of what exists in the financial services space, for example, where CBN regulates largely along in a very mundane way. And CBN, if you check how CBN gives microfinance licenses, for example, you get a unit microfinance license, and they expect you to cover only a few, maybe local government, physical location, right? Even commercial banks, right? You have your national banks, you have your regional banks, and they give you those licenses, and they say, "Oh, this is the space that you can only cover." Meanwhile, with technology, right, you can essentially get that unit license and be selling to an audience, an African-wide audience, right? You have tech platforms today that ride on the back of, a few licenses, irrespective of the coverage of those licenses, and they have millions of customers because they've adapted technology and technology tools, and they can now reach a wider audience, right? So, I mean, these are some of the things that you can. I'm trying to create time for questions. So these are some of the things that, some of the ways that you can adopt technology to grow your business. Now, the second that I'm going to talk about is capacity. How can you expand the capacity, your capacity to grow, right? There are so many platforms, right? I co-founded Lagos SME Bootcamp. I just told you. And it brings me a lot of joy when I see literally members of our community grow because of some of the platforms that we've created, some of the capacity that we've helped them develop. And there are examples. Our last event that we had, for example, in Ibadan, where we gave grants, soft grants to some of them. We're so delighted to see, for example, that the grants that we gave to, I think, our third place winner, was already used to register his business. And now, he now, from that small business that wasn't registered, he's now registered, he's able to apply for bigger grants, he's able to apply for bigger exhibition opportunities, and that's what we do not do in our platform. We don't ask for registration because we know that a lot of our micro businesses are not registered. So we do not want to fall into the same trap that government does, because a lot of our platforms by design already exclude our micro enterprises. Remember the characteristics I told you earlier, that about 97% of micro enterprises are not registered because they don't even have the money. So we also have, during our pitching sessions, we also took our time to coach some of the participants on, nuggets for better pitching, how to present your businesses. And about one or two of our community members, if I'm not wrong, I think even more, have now qualified. In fact, one of them won the Tony Elumelu, enterprise grant, and it was so amazing. At the Lagos bootcamp that we had just last week, from one of the panelists of our pitch session already putting the name of about 2 or 3 of our community members for another pitch session at the World Leaders Summit. So imagine that we never created that platform, or we created that platform and people did not participate, or people did not get involved. So you have to look out for these hubs, these conferences, these boot camps, these events, these communities. You can't have too many of them. You can't participate in too many. There's the Eloy conference, and aside the Eloy conference, there are quite a number of others that are focused on women. Women businesses. Um, um, if you're in tech, women in tech. If you're in finance, women in finance. There's Wimbies. There are so many of them like that. There's a lot that you can join, right? There are clusters. You can leverage the knowledge of experienced people. You can leverage the sessions that they provide, the guidance, the mentorships that they provide to help you grow your business. There's a Made in Nigeria SME conference. There's Lagos CEO Roundtable. And it's important that you properly understand yourself, understand your business, understand your dynamics. Don't go and say, oh, because I want to call myself CEO, I want to go and be obnobbing only with CEOs of businesses that are bigger than me. Meanwhile, that platform is not the best for you. Most people there will not even have your time. So you need to know what are the requirements, what are the characteristics of these various platforms, who are the people there, what access do they provide to me, and the nature of my business, and how can I milk these platforms, to increase my capacity. I hope everyone can still hear me. Please, you can just drop a thumbs up or a yes if you can hear me, so I can know if I should change my audio. Okay, so what are the financial support opportunities that exist? There are so many, to be honest. These are just a few because of time. Of course, we all know about the NESAL scheme. I've taken it upon myself to consistently advocate against the approach that government uses to disburse funds on NESAL. A couple of our community members during COVID time applied interest in NESAL. NESAL forced them to pay 5,000 naira for their business plan, some 10,000 naira. Till today, they have not gotten access to those funds. But yeah, it is a platform that exists. If you are very much interested, I think that you should do your investigation properly and see how you can access that platform. There's the Yes Scheme by BOI. I was on the panel with the MD of BOI a few weeks ago, and he said that they are constantly giving out, this fund on a daily basis. Again, I was saying that last bootcamp that because of the trust deficits that people have of government, right? A lot of micro and small businesses do not even want to apply to opportunities that government provide, right? And what happens when you do not apply is that you already exclude yourself, right? You already shut the door against yourself. Yes, I mean, we do not trust the government. We are not sure that they're not going to give it to their friends and family, but let's still try. I mean, there's even advantage in trying because at least you would have learned from the process, right? As against not even trying at all. There's a Tony Elumelu Entrepreneurship Program, amazing platform. You can keep trying on an annual basis. We've also supported or provided guidance to a couple of our community members for this. There's the Growing Fund, that one is a grant. There's also the LS ETF. I think that's probably one of the best things Lagos State government has done. Commercial bank loans, I advise very strongly against micro businesses doing it. But there are some commercial banks that have structured loans for small businesses. And when I say structured now, from their rates to their repayment terms and all these things, you can look at them. When you say commercial bank, not just the big banks, there are also the lenders and all these people. There's also peer-to-peer funding, and this is something that a lot of micro businesses have not mastered yet. Yeah, a lot of people can hear me. So, Binga, I think it's probably from your side. Okay, so peer-to-peer funding means, again, if you attend events, you attend conferences, you join communities, you can create clusters of groups amongst yourselves, right?
Some may have some excess cash that they do not need or they are not necessarily using. Some may not have. Some people's business model may have exposure to liquidity. Maybe their payment receivable days, maybe on a daily basis, they get cash, right? So, for example, if you are into logistics, of course, on a daily basis, you are getting cash turnover, right? Or maybe you are into betting, and people are taking stakes on a daily basis as against somebody who is providing maybe renewable energy for offices. They are not paying him until maybe after 30 days. So if you create these groups, you can always provide, you can leverage on each other's liquidity position, each other's cash positions. You can say, okay, can you borrow me this cash, your cash as of now? I'll pay back with a little markup in the next 2 weeks, in the next, and you will be amazed. Look, it sounds funny, but this is the model that market women and market downfall drivers and all these individuals in the marketplaces are designed over the years, and is an excellent functioning model, right, that you can also leverage within your space. There's also angel investing and VCs, and I've said earlier on that these guys are increasingly becoming biased for tech-enabled businesses. So whatever business you are in today, if you have not started, designing it for tech, if you have not started considering tech-enabled, making it tech-enabled, well, you may be sleeping on water. For example, if you are into property sales and consultancy, there's a client of mine that is into construction, and he's already thinking about. In fact, he's already working on the tech business, on the tech platform that democratizes access to properties, right? So these are things that you need to start thinking about. And to be honest, you don't have to start with Odun of Piggyverse was speaking at our event last week or so, and she was saying that as at the time that they started Piggyverse, the idea came from Twitter. I'll talk about that next now. But they didn't even build the app. They just went to market with a simple MVP, like a minimum viable product that shows what you want to do, and people can interact. Simple interface, simple platform. You don't need to spend a lot of money on that, right? Because you can do a lot with your cash. Something that can help you see the viability of your business from a tech standpoint. And if you do that, you will be shocked at the possibilities that exist, right? So look at, there's somebody here who makes handmade footwear, right? What platforms do you use? How do people see your handmade footwear? What's the specialty? What distinguishes you from the next person who makes handmade footwear? Because the truth is that there are industries that are already saturated in terms of numbers of people. And what will distinguish you from the next person will be how you are able to craft your narrative, just as I said earlier on. I don't know, for those who came late, apologies, but time is really going now, so I can't repeat some of those things. Okay, yeah. Now, of course, I know that this is beginning to sound cliche, but look, we cannot overemphasize the amazing opportunity that exists on social media, right? And what is going on is because, and maybe I'm probably also guilty of that, because a lot of us are always saying, use social media, use social media, use social media. A lot of small businesses are now using social media the wrong way. Give me a second. A lot of us are now using social media the wrong way. We now spam people, we spam conversations, we spam threads. People are having important conversation. Somebody has lost a loved one. Somebody has been declared missing. You see somebody underneath there saying, "Oh, please buy my shoe. I have not eaten the past 2 weeks." Look, that's pity selling. People are most likely not going to patronize you because you said you've not eaten in 2 days, right? Even if they patronize you, that's pity buying. Because I'm buying that because I pity you does not mean I'm going to come back. Except, of course, your service, the experience with you is now awesome, right? But again, you are creating an irritant brand, right? You are building your brand on an irritant proposition, which is not the best, right? The most important thing with social media is look to solve people's problem. Whatever you are doing, create content around that addresses your certain audience. I was talking to an entrepreneur a few weeks ago who owns a very awesome business, fabric business, right? She sells strictly Ankara print, and she was complaining that she has over 30,000 followers on Instagram, but they don't interact with her content. And then we opened that page, and everything on that page was just Ankara, like pasta Ankara. She would just take the picture, paste it, take the picture, paste it. And I said, what engagement do you want people to have with an Ankara picture? You know, you have 30,000 people. These are human beings, right? They want to interact. They want you to address them. They want you to say something, to post something that connects with them, right? Now, if you do Ankara prints, and this all can apply to any of your businesses or shoes, right? I was telling her that, look, if you create content that resonates with individuals' need for Ankara, so for example, you can develop a content that says, a short video that says, a lot of people, how can you, you are planning your birthday, you're planning your wedding, there's already an apathy towards expensive ashwebi. There's already, there are people are already running out of ideas on how to plan birthdays, how to plan bridal showers. You can come up with ideas of an Ankara themed birthday, for example, or an Ankara themed bridal shower, or how people can evolve from the narrative of Ankara is only for burial to you can also use Ankara unique types of Ankara prints that can be used for weddings, and you show a realia or a what they call a realia, like a demo of these things on social media on your platform. People are definitely going to interact. And as I was speaking to her a few days later, she tried it and the interaction was amazing, right? So you need to tell yourself, how can I craft a content strategy that speaks to the problem that people are facing in the line of business that I have, right? You can't just be pasting shoes every day and expect interaction from that. You are wasting your community, you are wasting your audience if that's all that you do, right? Facebook, just 2 weeks, a few days ago, we did a boost with Facebook session for members of our community. It was amazing. You can sign up, you can follow Lagos Assembly Bootcamp on all our platforms and sign up for our newsletter. We'll circulate the links. Amazing stuff that you can do with Facebook. You can build an amazing audience. You can create an online shop, like literally an online shop where you sell. You can do a lot on Facebook. And Flutterwave has been building several communities for small businesses. You can recreate those models for your businesses, right? So the idea is to build your audience into a community of people that are interested in what you do, right? Not just a community of potential buyers. It's a community of people that are interested in what you do, right? That are bound together because of what you do. And the only way you can do that is to appeal to their needs, to their problems, to the challenges that they face. So for example, you do shoes. What are the challenges that people have with shoes? People that don't have car, their soles probably it probably dies after a few weeks, right? Can you solve the problem? Can you be selling your shoes and say, oh, okay, I have a plan for, you can do like a short video that shows different how soles degenerate, right, over a period of time if you do not have a car, or if you have a car and you park far away from your office. You can show a trend of how your shoe sole will likely degenerate, or how dust will most likely reduce the quality of your shoe. And then you can say, oh, if you buy a shoe from me, we do, maybe 3 months, 6 months, we can do a sole we build or something. These are just random thoughts. But look, people will most likely interact with a conversation that shows, oh, does this also affect you? That is, oh, does your soul also go bad? Oh, I can say, okay, I remember when I started my career, I used to do this, I used to do that, and then my soul started falling off because I used to trek, because I used to do this, or when I was a student. People are most likely going to interact with that as against just posting a shoe and saying, oh, do you need this shoe? Is this shoe nice? Buy this shoe. If I don't want to buy the shoe, there's nothing to engage, right? The best I can say is, oh, nice shoe, and then you'll be in my DM appealing to me to buy, right? So again, you need to think thoroughly about content, about conversations. How to create conversations, how to build a community of people. I already spoke about hubs. There are so many hubs everywhere. I'm speaking to you right now from one hub. There are hubs all over the place, right? That you can go into. You will meet other businesses. You will meet other startup communities that you can partner with, or that you can ride on the back of to empower and grow your business. I'm going to stop here. I had a lot of other things to teach you around how to expand, in terms of business development, how to grow from a strategy standpoint. But I'm going to stop here. Maybe some other time we'll talk about that. I will leave it for questions. Thank you so much.
Hi, thank you so much, Bankole. If you're just joining us and you kind of missed the beginning of the session, there's no need to fret, because we'll be sharing the recording later on this week. And if you don't get it this week, you can also check our YouTube channel. It's called Flutterwave, and then you'll see it there. Also, my name is Sean Oguntonade again. I am the content creator at Flutterwave. Now we're going to Jolade's session. She's going to be sharing what Flutterwave has for business owners. If you have any questions for Ayo Bankole, you can just put that in the Q&A section, because after Jolade's session, we're going to be having the Q&A. Hi, Jola.
All right. Thank you for that interesting presentation. My name is Jolade. Like Sheo had said, hello everyone. I hope we all had a restful weekend. This and how you can use it to grow your business. So I will share my screen in 1 second. So first things first, some of you might be familiar with the Flutter Web Store, some of you might not, so I'll just give an overview for the benefit of everyone. So Flutter Web Store is our e-commerce solution. It's a very simple tool that makes it possible for you as a business owner to get your goods online, start selling. You don't need to know how to code or be a tech expert. It's simply very straight to the point. And the Flutter Web Store was developed in the wake of the COVID-19 pandemic in 2020. Like we all know, there were restrictions and movements, both for us as business owners and then for us as shoppers looking to buy goods. And so our response to that was to make it very easy for merchants to be able to go online and sell what they have, be able to deliver it without leaving their homes, and making it as simple as possible for the shopper as well. So of course, there's several benefits of creating a Flutterwave store. Like I said before, you don't need a website. You don't need to be a tech guru or engage the services of a tech guru. No need for any extra development work. You're able to keep track of all your sales electronically. This includes payments that have been made to you from your shoppers, or even when people want to reach out to you to say, oh, do you have this in another size or whatever? On your Flutterwave store, at the bottom, there's a portion where you can leave your contact details. So, it creates a seamless experience though, in the sense that you don't actually have to do anything to be able to enable your customers to buy. So for instance, they don't have to pick up the phone to first ask you, oh, is this green pair of shoes actually available? They simply see the stock levels that are there. For instance, if they wear a size 39, they see if that's in stock or out of stock, and they can go straight to placing that order without picking up the phone to first confirm from you. And then there's a range of payment options for your customers as well. So if people have a preference for using their cards to shop, they can do that. If they rather just click a link and use our payment link options, they can do that as well. And if they want to transfer using USSD or other payment methods highlighted here, there's spoiled for choice. So going into the features now of the store, one of the great things is that it allows you to put in all the variations of a product. For instance, say you have a bag, a leather bag that comes in blue, green, black, yellow. Not only are you able to put all those colors, but if it comes in a variation of sizes as well, you can do that. Put that in and put the quantity you have for each of those products. And then, all your shoppers are able to see that very easily. And then in terms of inventory management, you don't have to manually toggle between whether you're online, out of stock or in stock of certain products. It automatically will deplete stock after a purchase is completed. And then, of course, you can rest assured that we have you covered in terms of fraud management. We have an inbuilt fraud management system. And to speak to that further, we are PCI DSS compliant, which just means that all the card information that is used within our platform is secure. And like I said before, there are multiple payment options. So you don't have to restrict your customer to either just doing a transfer to you or using their card. There are various options they can use. And another thing is, once all the KYC, which is know your customer information, is uploaded, you are able to get the functionalities of international payments, and you will be able to see how to go about this once you start up the process and put in all the required information. Another fantastic bit is that you don't always have to have your laptop set up before you can, check what you need to check on your store. You can always do this on our mobile app. So we have a mobile app where you can see the same set of things. You can see the payments that have come in, all the payments that have come in, from the beginning of the month, beginning of the year. And it makes it very easy because if it's on the phone and you want to be able to update your quantities on another channel of yours, and you had put in maybe 100 units, and then someone calls you and is trying to do like a bulk purchase, and you have to, now change that to 50. You don't, if you're like in your shop or on the road, you don't have to first get your laptop. You can simply pick up your phone and just change that quantity to what it really is. And then you're able to set discounts to your store. So it means that if you have a discount that you are considering, which I'm sure many of us are starting to, especially at this time of the year, you can create a discount code unique to just you. You can determine what percentage you want and then share this within your community so that they know that it's live. So you might be wondering if you need to have like a CAC documentation before you can open a Flutter Web store. The answer is simply no. It's open to everyone as long as what you're selling is, legitimate goods. You can, supply us information of your CAC details if you have that registered, and all done. But if you don't, it's not a blocker. You're able to still come on board and still trade once you just let us know your name, your full name, provide BVN details, and some additional KYC information. Say you've set up today, you have your store, and you want to let all your customers know, people in your community, oh, I'm now live here. You don't have to, first chat me up on WhatsApp to find out what's available. Simply go to my Flutter Web store. That's perfectly simple. So you just drop a link. So you get a link that is unique to you. Say, for instance, your name is JK Fashion. This is your business name, of course. You will have a link that will have that JK Fashion in it, so everyone knows shop. Now, this is your inventory. The customer will choose what they want specifically and then proceed to checkout. So like I mentioned, there are lots of options at that checkout stage where they can put in precisely what they want. And then they put in their information, which is their name and the address they want the goods delivered to. After they do all that, of course, the next action is to simply pay. And when they pay, they go through with all of that. You as JK Fashion would immediately receive a notification of payment. You would receive that money in your wallet, and you'll be able to do a deep dive of all the details in that order. And so afterwards, of course, the next step is to start to pick and pack the items so that it's ready to be dispatched to your shopper. And so you can communicate with any logistics partner of your choice to have the goods sent out. And then you can do a deep dive of what it is that you've sold. So you can see what you've sold, what days you sell them the most, how much it is that you've made so far. You're able to do all of that on your dashboard. And so you're probably wondering, what the cost is to you. So I should mention that the great thing is that you don't have to have a fee, like a domain name fee that you pay, or website management fee. None of that. It's absolutely free to do that. You also are only charged when you make a sale. So if you don't make any sale, you don't get charged. And when you do make a sale, for the context in which we're speaking, which is Nigeria, the processing fee is 1.4%. So it will mean that just 1.4% of that will be deducted. And for international transactions, it's 3.8%. Another thing to note is that you can opt to make it your customer who bears those transaction fees, but find a way to notify them that that's what is happening, because it means that if a product is a certain amount, say 1,000, and then at checkout they start to see 1,001.4 or something, then they might wonder what's happening. So just wanted to highlight that. But we give the flexibility, again, which is one of the great things of having a store open here. So now to the money part, you will get your money immediately into your wallet. However, in terms of your account, your money will be settled into your account the following day. So one of the things that we ask for when you're setting up an account is to put in the bank details of choice. So say you want to use X bank, just put in X bank at the point at which you're setting up, and that money will automatically be moved there the day after it comes into your wallet. So that's the day after the order is placed. You won't need to, prompt anything on your dashboard for that settlement to be made. So there are a few merchants that we've had, and they've used our platform and have great things to say about it. And I wanted to show you that.
Hi, my name is Jennifer Oloko. I am an experienced makeup brow artist and the founder of Yanga Beauty. To makeup artistry in 2011, and it's been an amazing journey. Fast forward to 2014, I had an experience where I used an imperial eyeliner, which I couldn't have makeup on for a year, which really was depressing. And in my recovery period, I started to research and try to create my own beauty product that would be premium, cruelty-free, superior, suitable, and reliable for the African woman. And in that, I discovered that the African woman or women were less represented, in the sense that foundations, makeup, wearing that suitable for our complexion, climate, they were not easily accessible to our market, and I decided to bridge the gap. At Yanga Beauty, we offer beauty products and services that empower the African woman to look good, feel confident and comfortable in the way that she presents herself to the world. Beauty, we believe that the first requisite to success or to thrive is to confer a benefit and the reward will come automatically as we actually call our customers jewels because they are valuable, precious, and unique in their own right. We're so big on social commerce, and we build conversations and connections via our digital channels. So I love the Flutterwave store because it is super simple to use. I'm able to send that link to our customers, and there's like an automatic invoice that just comes in. So even if I'm not around, my corporate support specialist receives that invoice to confirm the payment, and then it's so easy for us to fulfill our orders. So I remember when I was trying to build up my makeup kit and I had to buy like a big eyeshadow palette, which didn't quite turn out well. And that encouraged me to make our own eyeshadow palettes, just putting the key colors there and liners. And I had a conversation with one of our jewels, and she was sharing how she loved the eyeshadow palette because it was just exactly what she needed. That was so encouraging to me because it just meant that we were actually fulfilling. One of the biggest challenges would have to be accepting international payments. I mean, we will get requests, do you have a retail partner in the US? Do you have a retail partner in South Africa or Ghana? And it was so frustrating that we had these products, but we couldn't, accept payments for them. And when we found Flutterwave, it was just like a breakthrough moment for us. So we're able to accept, different currencies on one platform, which is just mind-blowing, and just we experienced so many challenges. I don't think that receiving money should be one. So finding Flutterwave has just, solved that problem a whole lot and just simplified our payments and operations here in that.
Right. And of course, when you create your store, you will not be alone on this journey. We have several resources and tools that we use to guide you as a merchant to help you grow your business more. One of them is this webinar that we're on now, which is the Grow My Business webinar that we have on a bi-weekly basis. You can simply dial in at no extra cost and, hear some of our brilliant speakers such as Ayo speak to you about how best to, really navigate challenges around business and to grow your business. So all in all, we know that there's an easier way to do business. There's a more simple way to collect payments. You can simply create a Flutterwave store without having your customers first, reach out to you asking for the price. I mean, we all know how that happens. It's not the most convenient. You don't have to first wait before you can share your account details, because sometimes there's a lag between when the customer reaches out to you and when you finally respond, and they can abandon that order altogether. But with the Flutterwave store, they simply see what they want, make that selection, they buy it, they're happy, you're happy. So sign up now. That's everything for me. If there are any questions, like Shaun said, please drop them in the Q&A section. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks so much, Jolade. So now we're going to the Q&A section. And if you have any questions for Ayo Bankole during this section, and if you have any questions for Jolade too, you can put that there. I'll be reading them out now.
I want to believe I did such a great job of explaining it that everyone knows how.
I see that I'm not so sure how to pronounce this. Chene Cherem has a question, but I think you need to write that in the Q&A section so that we can just take it. Oh, nice. Okay, so we have one question from Michael. He's asking, this goes to Jolade. Can Flutterwave platform be used as a landing page or website?
Okay, so we do have, actually I'll answer your question in two ways. So we have Disha. I think this is a good time to speak about that. We also have the functionalities for you to put your URL. You remember I talked about a URL being unique to you. So say your business is called XYZ, you will have that URL that you can then put in any page. Like, so if you have a business website and you want to say, oh, this is where to shop, we can make that possible. So when people click on it, it takes them directly to your Flutterwave store, right from your own. If you have a website, a business website that consists of different things, not just commerce, and you want them to be able to see the commerce side of things, you can do that. I hope that answers your question.
Thanks, Jolade. Okay, Chinechern finally She's asking, please, what's the reason of having to wait for up to 24 hours to receive the money? It actually affects e-commerce startups. I can explain more if you allow me to use audio. I think Jola did this for you.
Okay. Yes, it sure is. Okay, so there's I mean, as you know, we work with bank partners who handle all our settlements for us. And so in that 24 hours, there's a lot of reconciliation that happens, just making sure that the product that is purchased is not, the person doesn't change their mind and then try to request a refund in that period. So there's a lot that can happen in that 24 hours, which is why we allow for that, and then make it available to you as soon as all those ends are covered. So of course, if in the future it can be shorter than 24 hours, why not? But let's bear in mind that we also work with settlement partners, which are the banks themselves. So we aren't, a bank in that sense that you would be able to get the value from one transfer to the other right in your account in a split second. I hope that answers the question.
So another question is, okay, this is a chat, but please guys, please put your questions in the Q&A section. Thank you. So can one integrate the unique merchant link within the business website?
Yes, you sure can. We have integrations, and we also have, once you send us an email, we can have API integration guidelines sent to you as well. I mean, that's open information. We just need to know for what use you would want it, so that our team can guide your technical team or yourself, if you're going to be implementing that. So Sean, I think at the end, Sean is going to drop the email address through which we can be reached, and then we can take that conversation even further once you send us the specific needs of your business.
Thank you, Jola. I think this is for Ayo Bankole. Someone said you mentioned virtual offices. Are there recommendations for mainland businesses?
Well, none of them have paid me to promote them, so I don't know. But I know that these guys are my very good followers, and we interact a lot. Nest Hub is a brilliant place. I know that CC Hub, they've been supporting a lot of businesses for years. In fact, they are the pioneers of all of these things. CC Hub is an amazing place. I've also used, I can't remember what it's called. There's a place on about Macaulay also, really nice place. Bob is also a nice place. So it depends really on your location, but a lot of them are clusters around, they are clustered around Yaba axis. There are some also in Ikeja, but you have to look thoroughly at the pricing options. Depend on your size of business. Some of them are not as flexible. Some are very flexible. On the island, for example, I know that Venia is very, very flexible. So it depends really, but I've given you a few. You can check, and check their pricing options and which one pays you. And again, your business model. Do you absolutely need to be working from a place physically? If not, if it is just correspondence you need and all these other things, and maybe a shared lounge where you can sit when you need to meet with people, then you look for people who have those options for you, right? If you absolutely need 1 or 2 working spaces, then you can also look for those options, right? So again, you must never compare yourself with another business, and say, oh, because everybody's paying for office space, means I want to pay for office space, right? Don't front load your cost so that you're not playing catch up on profit, right? So make sure that you understand your model, you understand your revenue model and your cost model, and look for spaces that fit that stuff. Yeah, you can reach me privately. Somebody's asking, you can reach me privately on social media. I'm Ayo Bankole on all platforms. Ayo Bankole on Twitter, Ayo Bankole with double E on Instagram, Ayo Bankole Akintujoye on Facebook. You can also follow Lagos SME Bootcamp on all platforms so that we can interact as often as possible. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Next question is for Jolade. Can one receive other currencies like US dollars with his or her Flutterwave account?
Yes, you sure can. Like I had mentioned earlier, you would simply need to provide some additional validation, for your account. So we'll need to have your details. So CAC information and a few others. But once you are set and you want to make such a request, you can send an email using the email that Sharon is going to drop is hi@Flutterwave Go, and then tell us the nature of your business, merchant ID, all of that, and then that conversation can be kickstarted.
Thank you. So I think this is the final question. So my question now, this is from Emmanuel. My question now is it possible to have a distributive means of payment to our end vendors on our site after each sale, so we don't get the money firstly before distributing it to our end vendors? Say due to being a service provider, I help make sales of authors' products, and thus after sales, we take our share of the money and send theirs. We use your payment. They use Flutterwave.
Okay, so that I might not be able to speak to that. It's not within my purview. It's more on the payment side of things. But again, please send an email. Absolutely, I'm sure it's a conversation that with the right parties we can answer that directly. Just send an email with the nature of your business as well. That would be very helpful. And then your merchant ID.
All right, thank you so much. So that brings us to the end of our Grow My Business webinar. Thank you everyone for joining us. If you missed the earlier sessions with Ayo Bankole or Jolade, you can always, we're going to send this out by the end of the week. And if you don't get it, you can always check our YouTube channel, Flutterwave. You find it there by this Friday. And if you have missed previous sessions, you can always go there and just rewatch. We have a whole lot of resources for business owners for them to grow their business, and you don't want to miss any. So thank you everyone. Thank you for joining us again. I have shared the handles on the chat, and if you are not able to see that, you can reach out to us via email at hi@flutterwavego.com. Our social handles are at the Flutterwave, and then for Twitter support is at FLW support. So thank you everyone. I hope you had a great session this morning. Thank you Ayo, thank you Jolade. It's great having you guys on here.